a recently graduated student, there's a lot of things you want to do. You could buy that jacket you've always been wanting to buy, or maybe it's a trip you've been wanting to go on. For me, that was Venom. I've been dying to watch it ever since the first advertisement came out back in like July or August or something, and all throughout my examination period in late October and early November, I was like hooked on Venom trailers, Venom spoilers. I didn't want to get spoiled, but you know, they're always there. And I binged on so much, like fan arts, fanfics. Shout out to Kelly for being my fanfic partner in crime, because I know she loves it too. I outed you. It was even harder for me to wait to watch Venom than it was to watch Infinity War or The Last Jedi. So anyway, after my last paper, I really couldn't wait anymore, and I got my parents to go watch it with me. I pitched it to them as just another action hero movie, but we all know what it really is. Look, I do have issues with the movie. I loved it from beginning to end, but I just didn't agree with some of the choices the directors and the writers made, and some of its pacing issues towards the end of the movie were a bit questionable. I'll address my concerns with Venom in another video, but then this one's all about the good bits. Just a warning, if you do want to keep your Venom virginity, like you haven't watched it yet, this video does contain a bit of spoilers, so I'll give you just a few moments to click away from this video if you don't want to get spoiled. But do bookmark it, like put it into your watch later list so you can come back and watch it when you finally watch Venom. There isn't a particular scene in Venom where I go like, hold up, this isn't an action movie, it's a rom-com, because there isn't really a scene. It's just it's the whole movie. It's the unspoken understanding that this movie isn't just a rom-com, but it's an LGBT rom-com. And it isn't just an LGBT rom-com, but one that has the LGBT dynamics that are not at all represented in mainstream film culture. So I don't pretend to know a lot about the source material where Venom was conceived, or more accurately spawned. Like, I've never actually read the Marvel comics. I just dived into the MCU when I was like 7, and then I never really looked back since, but I haven't read the comics per se, so I don't really have like a full understanding of what Venom is. But from what I've gathered, Venom is asexual, they are gender neutral, they reproduce asexually, they are very committed to Eddie as a lifelong partner and will protect him at all costs. So even in MCU canon, when they're bringing pricks to one another, you can feel that sort of fast bond that forms between the two of them. I believe the most important thing is how they are so much alike. So at first glance, they are as different as two beings can be. Eddie's human, Venom is symbiote. Eddie's male, Venom is not. Eddie is straight, and Venom is definitely not. So Venom doesn't subscribe to the same rules. He's the bad boy who takes a liking to the dysfunctional, inquisitive, and very plucky protagonist of any rom-com movie. So that's usually in the Duff, that's this girl, and in Venom, this is Eddie Brock. Then you look closer and you find that they're so similar. First, you've got Venom's blatant comments such as,
I am kind of a loser, like you, but here, we could be more.
And then the way Anne treats both of them, which is kind of like her children, sort of. Further down, you've got the more nuanced examples of how they fit so well with each other. Their self-destructive habits when they're doing what they've set their minds to, like Eddie not really thinking about the consequences of going after the Life Foundation, or Venom's ready betrayal of his entire species for this one small sweaty human and that human's equally sweaty home planet. You've also got the way they open up really easily. Eddie puts his heart out there for Annie to reconsider, even though he knows he'll get rejected, and Venom kissing Eddie and then literally confessing a day or two after they first meet. And then you've got the fact that Venom basically possesses his body. Like, you know, talk about the right way to woo someone. They create a bond that Eddie himself doesn't really want to break, despite, you know, the stabby episode. There's this really amazing Tumblr headcanon that explains why Venom is what he is, and why Venom isn't really as strong as his other crewmates. He only knows how to form defensive glue things and not the weapons that Riot can make, you know, that slashy bit. That was really awesome, by the way. And Venom only does parachutes or like shields and umbrellas and stuff. So I'll try to find it and link it below in the description, but just to summarize everything, it suggests that Venom is just a battering ram for the rest of the symbiotes. So essentially he's just there to receive damage while the three of them figure out another way to get their species onto Earth. So Venom was sent to be their shield. I mean, that hit me pretty hard inside, because coupling that with Venom's confession about how he's a loser back on his home planet, and the fact that Riot ridicules them for being too attached to their host, we can safely assume that Venom is considered a loser because he was too attached to his host because of his emotions. And that's really similar to Eddie, who refuses to cast aside his sense of justice when he's interviewing Carlton Drake. There's a really gritty sense of continuity and beauty in how the same personal values that led Eddie to ruin are the same ones that Venom uses to build him back up, which to me is quite interesting. And like, I love the little dash of like cinephilia thrown in, because we all love that, don't we? Putting all their personal quirks aside, a really major part of their relationship, platonic, symbiotic or otherwise, is their difference in gender and sexuality, or rather like the fact that no one really gives a flying fudge cake about what gender or what sexuality they are, as long as they kick Riot's ass. Eddie doesn't really care if Venom is a guy or a girl when he accepts their explicit statement of love.
What really made you change your mind?
You did.
And Venom doesn't really care that Eddie is a guy when he kisses him. So the kiss itself doesn't really get a dramatic scene in which Eddie like questions his sexuality or gets really upset about it or anything. We just have Eddie looking a bit shaken up, and then afterwards a bit embarrassed that she kissed Eddie, which really shouldn't be the case anyway, since it wasn't her that kissed Eddie, it was Venom. And then we have Eddie, who's just like sort of standing there and waiting for Venom to take the lead. But like, if I had a symbiote which wanted to bond to me, honestly, Eddie's same. Well, I've shared enough Venom love for one video, and I just wanted to reiterate that Venom hit all of my good spots, just like the proposal did, which means a lot because I really loved the proposal, and it was worth the hype, the torture of the wait, and the risk of queerbaiting to see it. Like, all its surprises punched me in the gut with how amazingly meme-worthy and fangirl-worthy they were. I was shook. Like, I expected it to be good but not that enjoyable, so I was pleasantly surprised. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any recommendations for me, any other videos to watch, any other fanfics to read, and if you have same or like different opinions, I don't mind, just put them down below and I'll be happy to read through all of them. Next week's video will be a reaction compilation to my VCE results and my early action MIT decisions. So if you don't know what VCE is, it's the Victorian Certificate of Education. We're ranked against each other and we come up with a score from about, like, I don't know, 30 to 99.95, and it essentially decides our fate for the rest of our lives, you know, like that. So if you'd like to see that, or if you're interested, or if you did enjoy this video, please remember to tap that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified of my next video. I hope you do like this video. It took me felt like a day to write-ish, and then like 7 to edit. So I hope you really liked it. Yeah, I'm Renee, you've been in the Ink Matrix, and I'll see you next week.